Welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the 4 ways to increase efficiency in your construction business. And before we get started with the video, the first thing we have to make clear is what efficiency really means. So efficiency means basically to achieve more in less time. Now, in the micro, that happens in 2 steps. Now, the first step is that the team saves time. Sounds reasonable. And the second step is that the team reallocates that time to a higher value task that brings a higher return to the company. Now, one of the very first things that I do with every single client that I work with is that we break down the company tasks between 2 categories. One is what I call the recurring tasks, things like daily, weekly, monthly, you get what I'm saying. And in the other category are the one-time tasks. Now, the reality is that for most businesses, 90% of tasks are tasks that are happening on a regular basis. And that's the first thing that we're going to cover to increase efficiency for the company. So let me give you an example. So for the sake of the example, let's pick one of your employees that does one specific task every single day. So you can think about following up on proposals, following up on invoices, managing CRM, you name it. But in real life, you have multiple employees doing multiple tasks every day. And most of them are, like I said before, repeatable tasks. So in the same example, for this one employee, and for the sake of simple math, we're going to make 2 assumptions. The first one is that it takes them 1 hour to complete the task. And the second one is that you're paying that particular employee $20 an hour. So that means that you're paying that particular employee for this specific task $20 times 260, which are the working days of a full year, and that's about $4,200 per year. That is to do a single task. Now imagine doing this for all your employees and all their tasks. So by making them more efficient, we help them do the thing faster, or if not at all, if we can, use technology like an automation to do this on autopilot. Now, like I said before, imagine doing that for all your employees and all their tasks. How much time and money you can save, or say the other way around, how much more you can make as a company. Now, that being said, let's get down on the list of 4 things, 4 ways you can use to increase efficiency for your construction business. So the first one is to create systems. It's what I've been talking about all this time until now. And by systems, I mean creating standard operating procedures, aka SOPs, templates, policies, guidelines, workflows, you name it, everything is there, forms, integrations when it comes to technology, and more advanced softwares. For example, if you are more like in the beginning phases and you're using a lot of spreadsheets and or Excel files or whatever, you can go from that to project management software where everything can be more streamlined, more automated, more better. Yeah, that was wrong. It's more, it's better, just better. All right, now to drive this home, I want to share with you a story, a real life story with one of my clients that after having a conversation with the assistant of my client, we found out that she was spending 45 minutes every single day transferring leads or adding leads to the project management software manually from the source to that software. Now, after asking more questions, we found out that, she was doing it manually. And I thought, why don't we automate that? And really, we automated this part. And basically, every time somebody that would request my client services would automatically go to the project management software. And that was it. So we automated the entire thing. Now, from there, we can make it even better. We can start automated sequence of, let's say, emails or messages or whatever to start building a relationship with that particular lead. You can do whatever you want, right? But the point is that you don't have to do everything manually, and definitely your team doesn't have to, because you can use technology, you can use systems to automate things and make everything more efficient. So you can focus on other things, right? It's not that nobody will do anything. It's that things that are recurring that can be automated with technology and softwares, you can do that so your team can do something else, right? That is more valuable, like calling a customer or calling a lead and trying to close a deal, whatever. Now, the second way that you can use to increase efficiency in your company is to encourage ownership, right? It's something that I learned from my background in the Air Force. If you don't know this, I was an Air Force pilot for 8 years. And one of the very first things that I learned is to take ownership about pretty much everything since day one. As a almost 17 years old, or almost 18 years old, I was 17 years old because my birthday was in December and I got it in the Air Force in September. So anyway, so what I mean by encourage ownership, well, that comes down to the culture of the company. And obviously the culture, you can't build culture or improve it or change it within a matter of days. That takes months, if not years, to change the culture or improve it. So what I mean by that is basically to stop micromanaging and telling everybody what to do about every single task, and most importantly, to ask every single question, every detail about pretty much everything. Now, the reason why I say that is if you keep doing that, and I know it comes from like good intentions and you want to help your team and you want to help solve all the problems, if you keep doing that, then you will never be able to scale. You will never be able to do other things because your team keeps you busy asking you all these questions, right? Like it makes sense. So the thing is that I see this also with clients because even when we have systems, even when we create the systems for their team on how to do pretty much anything with step-by-step process, with training videos, with like everything, every resource that they need, it's there. They still go ahead and ask their manager or the president or whoever, because that's what they've learned to, that's what they're used to. So whenever somebody comes to you with a question that you already have a system for that, you shouldn't basically give them the easy answer, the low-hanging fruit, and tell them the answer, even if you know the answer, which you probably do. So instead, you can say, hey, we have a system for that. Go check the system, go check the training, the SOP, the whatever, and if you can't figure it out, come back with your question and I will tell you then, right? So in that case, if they don't understand what the system is and they come back with questions, it means that we have to tweak the system, not just give them the answer, because that's how they will learn how to use systems, and we'll create a culture that follows processes and systems to achieve pretty much anything in a repeatable and predictable way. And that's the beauty of systems. Now, the third way to increase efficiency for your construction business is actually the individual performance. Now, this doesn't have to do a lot with systems, but that is something that I was doing for years before I even started creating systems for companies, because my very first service was productivity coaching for entrepreneurs, CEOs, and coaches. So I've talked a lot about, and I've helped a lot of people improve their performance. So what I mean by that is basically your team needs clarity. They need to know what they have to do, what are their tasks, and what are the things that they shouldn't do, right? They need to be focused, not just you, like the owner, but everybody needs to be focused. They need to have less distractions, because when they know what to do, it's better for them to prioritize. That means that maybe you can skip a few meetings if you don't see value in having meetings that will just take time from the team, right? Or maybe you shouldn't interrupt someone from your team to do something else that is less urgent and distract them from something else, right? So things like that will will make them less productive, or you can just provide them coaching or training sessions to help them become more productive in general as a team, right? Now, the fourth way to increase efficiency in your business, right? And that particular thing is about any business, not just construction, is basically the infrastructure in general. And what I mean by that is equipment and internet connection. Yes, internet connection. And I want to give you a quick story here, a personal story from when I moved from living in a big city to where I live now, which basically is like a tiny village in the middle of nowhere, because that's how I like it. And I remember basically I never thought about the interconnection, right? And there was really bad signaling here. And I remember being productive and basically, for example, posting stories on Instagram or Facebook, and it took me literally 15 minutes to upload a single slide. And that was a bummer, because you can't be productive and then waste a lot of time waiting for the story to be uploaded so I can upload the next slide, because sometimes I was posting everything and then the sequence was just changing on its own. There's like part 3, part 2, part 1, part 4, on its own. There's like part 3, part 2, part 1, part 4. And that was a mess. So I was spending a lot of time doing that, and I decided to upgrade the whole thing, and now I don't have a problem with interconnection, right? And that can be very disturbing or delaying the whole all the internal operations really. So that's a big thing. So these are the four ways that can help you increase efficiency in your construction business. I really think this is like a big deal, the big thing that especially the first thing that was systems, because you can create systems for pretty much anything, and that will save you a ton of time. Now, the very first thing, the very first step that I do with every single client is we create the foundations for systems. So I give them templates. I create what I call the systems table of contents, or TOC, and this is where basically you store all the systems. So I have that, and I give that away for free. I have a link down in the description below, and you can click that, and that will get you to, I think, a little video, and you can get the templates from there.
It is a gift.
So there I have an SOP template, document templates, guideline templates, an SOP for how to create SOPs, which is kind of like Inception if you've seen the movie, and the spreadsheet with the TOC. And by the way, like the Loom video explains how this works. So yeah, you can get it for free. I hope you got value from this video. If you liked it, go ahead and like it and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.